Yes, we are live on the deck of an RSI ship as we check out some RSI ships. 4.6. Let's do this thing. I need to share my screen, I think. There we go. Ha. That's funny. That is funny. That's a long queue. That is the longest of long queues. My goodness. How do I sound? How do I sound? I sound pretty good. I sound pretty good. I sound pretty good. The queue is getting longer. Longer. My goodness. Well, while we're waiting, we can go over the RSI Q&A. It says part 1. My goodness. Let's take a look. While the Hermes is designated as a medium freight, the term blockade runner has been used throughout its development. What does that mean? A blockade runner is a cargo ship used to circumvent enemy forces surrounding a port or other heavily defended location. This suits the Hermes well, the Hermes well, as it has a large cargo capacity, powerful main thrusters, and improved hull health and armor, making it ideal for safely transporting payloads to dangerous places. With 288 SCU, how does its cargo capacity stack up against other medium haulers? What are its direct competitors, and what sets the Hermes apart? It sets itself apart from other medium freighters, such as the Argo Raft and Miss Call B, as its cargo is stored internally rather than externally. Compared to the RSI Constellation Taurus and the MISC Starlancer Max, it provides much more capacity despite being physically shorter. So it's a short boy, but it brings a lot to the table. Where could the Hermes fit into an individual or group fleet? Capable of carrying any standard cargo, crate size from 1 to 32 SCU, which is the largest crate size in the Star Citizen universe. The Hermes allows players to accept a wide range of hauling missions, either solo or part of a group. The size of the cargo hold also allows it to carry a wide range of non standardized cargo easily, such as vehicles or mission rewards that are awkward to pack into other ships, such as Valacar Fangs. Yeah. How does the Hermes compare to the Apollo in terms of performance and handling? And will Apollo paints be compatible with the Hermes? The last sentence says the Hermes is a separate chassis rather than an Apollo variant, so paints are not compatible between them. People might people might bitch about that. Compared to the Apollo, the Hermes gains additional hull health as well as higher SCM and nav speeds at the expense of lower accelerations. So it's faster, but it gets to speed slower. That is interesting. Maneuverability is improved compared to the Apollo triage, allowing for easier maneuvers around stations and landing zones. 32 has the maximum container. Players are free to park any vehicle that fits through the rear ramp, which includes most vehicles up to and including Umbra Cyclone series, but not the Ursa Med Evac. The Ursa Med Evac is a no, 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 no. For some Cyclone and smaller, it's a yes, 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 yes. What drove the design philosophy of the Hermes? Hello, Dirty Red. What drove the design philosophy of the Hermes and the short and wide cargo hold compared to other haulers? The design of the cargo bay is a function of the ship's shape and the desire to keep the cargo bay metrics to standard SCU volumes rather than min-maxing all the available space. Some older ships have taller cargo grids, Zeus CL, but feedback from players has been that these are a challenge to manage, so for the Hermes, we tried to avoid that. When the Hermes is fully loaded with cargo, do players still have clear access to components for engineering gameplay? Yes. So, Griffin Gaming RPG greetings and salutations. Just trying out streaming on YouTube, seeing what that's like. Seems relatively straightforward. The Q&A is interesting. How does the tractor beam on rails work? It works on rails, and it's a tractor beam. It is similar to the Scorpius turret. Like the Scorpius rail system, the tractor beam has two dedicated positions that players can move between. Huh. That's it. That's actually interesting. In that they're saying you're not really pausing along the rail. You're either at one end or you're moving at the other to the other end, and I guess you've got to drop cargo off as you move to that between A and B. That's interesting. Can the pilot handle all cargo operations solo, including controlling the tractor beam, or does efficient loading require a dedicated co-pilot? The Hermes is fully soloable, as you can fly and land the ship from the pilot seat, then jump over to either the co-pilot seat or the dedicated station in the rear, where you can control the tractor beam. You can't do it from the one seat. Griffin says there's a partial outage, in case you didn't see it. Yeah, well, I'm going backwards in the queue, so that doesn't surprise me. All right, well, what we'll do is we will come back when it looks like we're going to be able to get in. We'll just finish this Q&A. And what's the Hermes' ability to fight back when intercepted during a cargo run? The Hermes is not a dogfighter. Its maneuverability doesn't grant it that ability easily, but anyone caught in front of it will have to deal with 4 size 4s, 2 of them from the pilot and 2 from the optionally slayed remote turret. So, you know, that's a thing. That's a thing. So it doesn't look like this is a competitor to my Gatak Raylan. Uh, it looks like it is what they say it is in the video. And we'll watch the video real quick, which is the behind the ships, which is sitting in the space after the Taurus, but before the like, and the around the raft, but before the caterpillar. So everyone should know their history. Hermes, Mercury in the Roman pantheon. Yeah, that's shade for when he said the wrong thing about the galaxy, and the internet was mad at him. But we still love you, John Crew. This is not Death Stranding. What is that? What's that? Is that the beginning of base building? Is that some structure out in what looks like microtech that's been there that I don't know about? Chat, what is this? Is this a a temple to Hermes? What is this? I want to zoom in. They had the same design idea with the Zeus CL, where they had two braces, more uh, frame strength and more structural fortitude for the cargo variants, for the cargo ships than for the other ships. With a cargo hauler, versus medical ship, you'd figure that there'd be a little bit more in terms of the livability of it, the eggs and coffee every day of it. You but I get that they wanted to use as much of the Apollo as they could. Yeah, ultimately, over the long term, they're going to have to reconcile the idea that they continue to describe the whole series as vulnerable in the way it carries its cargo, and they also have articulated the idea multiple times that the whole series is the most ubiquitous type of cargo ship in the verse. Right? So we should expect to see, I guess, whole series in high security Terra type locations, Castra, corporate security spaces, where they would not expect to be attacked for having their cargo external. And they would expect protection, and the risk versus reward would not be great for pirates in those spaces. Right? Otherwise, those two things don't make sense. Yes, another cargo ship from RSI. That's actually really good looking. I wouldn't say purple and yellow and white, given what I'm seeing here. I'd say purple, gold, and white, but that is kind of lovely. Well, not bad. We've gone down in the queue, but the ETA has gone up. We'll come back later. and continue to try out this YouTube streaming thing when we have an ability to get in the game. Thanks for being here, y'all. Talk to you later.